A new documentary this weekend shares the stories of real people who fell victim to Australia's most prolific conman, Hamish McLaren, and how it all unfolded could surprise you.
He was charismatic, intelligent, a little bit flash. I loved him.
Australia's most notorious conman, stealing women's hearts and everything they own.
I didn't suspect anything.
Ripping off more than $70 million.
I lost everything.
How they caught him is only half the story.
What happened to all that money?
King Kong, the life and crimes of Hamish McLaren.
It's an amazing story. Nobody was safe from his crimes, including our next guest, a mum of two and former girlfriend of Hamish, who was conned out of $317,000. Tracy Hall joins us now. Good morning, Tracy. Take us through why you wanted to share this story.
I wanted to share my experiences with Hamish to educate people about the pitfalls of falling for a con, and really just, helping people empower them around their financial security and their financial vulnerability.
What was he like when you first met him? How good was he at the con?
He was incredible at the con. I met him in 2016 on a dating app. He told me his name was Max Tavita. We dated and went out for nearly a year and a half. And it wasn't until he was arrested in 2017 and I saw the Crime Stoppers video online of him being arrested that I actually found out who he really was.
Wow, that late into it?
Yeah.
So what was the feeling when you found out?
It was disbelief, to be honest, because, it was like, Bondi investment man, 42, taking money from people, and I couldn't believe it. I thought there was a mistake because this wasn't the person that I was with.
How did he get you to sign over that much money?
He convinced me to set up a self-managed super fund. So the majority of my money went into a self-managed super fund that was actually in my name. And I'd set up a trading account with Bell Potter Securities that I thought was in my name. I'd done all of the paperwork. And the cheque that I wrote out was to Bell Potter Securities. And unfortunately, that cheque went into probably a washing account of his, and it all went missing.
Do you know, people watching this would be thinking, nah, it wouldn't happen to me, couldn't happen to me, wouldn't be convinced, I'd always ask an extra question or two. But you're pretty vigilant, right?
Yeah.
And it happened.
And to be honest, I would have said the same. I watch those stories on the news and I look at it and I think that, I'd never fall for that. And yet here I am, I lost my life savings to a man that, pretended to love me, and at the same time he was destroying me.
So have you been able to get any back? Is this why you're writing the book?
No, there is no money. So the case that went through in the court system, there was $7.6 million, 15 victims, and there is apparently no money anywhere.
So this bloke who you knew as Max, Hamish, whatever you want to call him, where is he now?
He is in jail. So he was sentenced to a 16-year prison sentence, which was reduced to 12 years. So he's still in jail.
How do you feel today?
I mean, it's 7 years on. A lot of time has passed. Doing the podcast was incredibly healing for me because I actually got to find out who this man really was, because when he was arrested, he was a man I loved. And then, I found out really, how deceitful, the extent of his crimes and what he had done. So that was very healing for me. And of course, writing the book has allowed me to really go back through that time, even before I met Hamish, and work through, how I was able to weather that storm, basically.
Just really quickly, has it made you more guarded? Has it made you closed off more?
I would say that I do see the world differently now because I had never met anyone like Hamish. I don't come in contact with anyone like that. I would say I'm probably more vigilant. I would like to think I'm more sceptical but not cynical. And I don't think you should go into every situation just looking for the red flags, because that's a pretty crappy place to live. But I think, we all need to be more vigilant. There's not a day that goes by, and you guys are probably the same, where you're not exposed to some type of scam. And it's probably not the extent of what I experienced, but every day a text message, an email, the banks are all over it at the moment. And I think we have to be really vigilant personally, but also look out for our loved ones, like the elderly people in our lives who are so vulnerable financially.
Agreed.
You're right. Tracy, thanks for sharing your story.
Yeah, it's very, very brave.
And you can watch King Con, The Life and Crimes of Hamish McLaren at 8 p.m. on Sunday. That's on Channel 7 and also on 7+. Tracy's book, The Last Victim, is out in May.